Hey guys, welcome to my academy. And in this video, we are going to add the WhatsApp bot functionality, which we have already discussed in another video, and we are going to take the same concept and add it to our JARVIS AI, so that we can also command our JARVIS AI to send a WhatsApp message to one of our contacts. But before we start the video, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn the bell notifications on so that you don't miss any future updates. And make sure to watch this video till the last second so that you can grasp the concept completely. So without further ado, let's get started. So let me open my VS Code. I have already opened the Jarvis folder in my VS Code, and we have the Jarvis code right here. Close this tab, and we have the Jarvis code right here where we want it. And now to add WhatsApp functionality, the first thing that I need to do is install a new library. Now if you have watched the previous WhatsApp bot video, for which the link is given in the description, so that if you haven't watched it already, you can go to that link and watch the video and then come to this video later, so that you understand how the WhatsApp function actually works and what is happening behind the WhatsApp library. So there are basically two methods to do the same task, which is to send a WhatsApp message to the JARVIS AI. One method is to design or write the code entirely from the scratch. But the other thing that we could do is use a library. So I will be going for the library approach. And so the first thing that I have to do is install the library. The library is PyWhatKit library. So the first thing that I need to do is open my terminal in my VS Code, and in here I will write the commands for installing the PyWhatKit library. So I will type pip install PyWhatKit and hit enter. Now I will wait for it to finish. So our library is installed. Now I will close the terminal for now, and the next thing I want to do is import the library into our code. And I will go to the top, and in here I will say import PyWhatKit as Git, so that we could use the short term for our function or for our working code. Now I have imported the PyWhatKit library, the library we wanted for our code, as Git. So Git, and I will save this file. Now the next thing I have to do is introduce a else if statement, so that we could execute the WhatsApp function inside of the Jarvis. So I will go here and I will say, let me just add a comment here that will be saying WhatsApp function. Now the next thing I have to do is create a else if. So I will say elif and commas, inverted commas, and the next thing I will say, let's go for send a WhatsApp message. Okay, and wait. Now the next thing I want to do is for the Jarvis to ask me whom do you want to contact, so that I could provide the number or the contact that I want it to send the message to. So the next thing I will do is call the speak function, and in here I will pass the input, which would be whom do you want to contact. Now we have our Jarvis asking us for input, but it does not have any variable to store that input. So I will go to my next line and I will create a new variable named contact, and in here I will call the input function to take input, and the prompt will be like something like it will take input. But the next thing I want to do is make the Jarvis operate accordingly to the input. So the next thing I will provide is a message, the text that I want to send to the Jarvis, so that Jarvis could forward it to our WhatsApp and send it to the that contact. Now the next thing it must do is ask the user for a message input, so that the user could provide a message that he or she want to send to the number or the contact that is stored in the contact variable right here through WhatsApp. So before creating this message variable, the first thing I will do, I will call the speak function here, and this time I will pass the argument of something like what do you want to say, sorry, inverted commas, and in here I will say what do you want to say. So the next thing I will do is introduce the message variable, and I will take it equal to the input function with prompt of something like message, and we are done with the message. Now the next thing is the send time. So if you have watched the previous video in which I explained this total concept of the send time and the wait time, you might know that we must provide a send time to our pivot kit library, so that it could open the WhatsApp and send the message to the contact that we chose at the selected time. Thing I will do here is call the speak function first, and in here I will say when to set, and the next thing I want to do is make Jarvis ask for input. But there are two different approaches that user might want to follow. There might be a case where user want to schedule a message, so that it acts as a birthday board perspective. There might be a case that the user want the Jarvis to send a message to his friend that is for his birthday at exactly midnight. So for this, the user might want to schedule a message. And for scheduling a message, we want to take an input from the user for hour and minutes that the user want to send the message. So, but the other thing that the user might want to do is send the message at the exact instant. We will come to that in just a bit. But first, let's go for the first approach, which is scheduling a message. So, I will ask for the user to provide an input. So I will say time, and I will add underscore here, double underscore, and then I will say equal to and input function. And the next thing I will do is prompt the user for the same thing, when to send. Now the user might provide hour first, and the next thing the user might provide is minute. So I will say hour double underscore and equal to input, and so first we will go for the first approach, that is for scheduling a message or making the Jarvis operate the WhatsApp function as a birthday message bot. So for this approach, I will go to the next line, and in here I will ask the user for hour and for minutes. So the first thing I will do is create an hour variable here, and I will take it equal to input function, and in it I will provide the prompt of hour is equal. The next thing I want to do is create a minute variable, and I will take it equal to input and inverted commas minutes, and okay, we are almost done. Now the only thing that remains is the final function that will take from the pivot circuit. So I will go here and I will call the pivot kit library, which we imported as kit, right? The top here, import pivot kit as kit. So I will say kit dot send what kit, send what message, and in here I will first provide the contact variable, as this is where the contact has been stored for the number, and then I will pass in the second argument, which is message, and then comes the hour, and then the last minute. So just for a reminder, what this function right here does is that it calls the send what message function from the kit library, which is short for pivot kit, and send what message takes in a total of 4 arguments. The first argument it takes is a phone number or a contact that we want it to send the message to. The next argument it takes is a message that we want to convey to our contact. The next thing it does is take an hour as argument, so that it could determine at what hour or at what time the user wants the function to send the message. The minute works exactly in the same way, but for the minutes. So both of these hour and minute arguments works together to give a new value to our function, which is wait time. So let's say if I want to send the message to my friend at exactly 10 p.m. and the current time is 9 p.m. So if I pass the 10 as hour here and 00 as minute here, so it means that user wants the message to be sent at exactly 10 p.m. So it is exactly 60 minutes from now, as the current time is 9 p.m. So what this function will does, depending on these two arguments, it will subtract the current time from these two arguments. So it will say if the current hour is 9 but the hour that the user want to send the message is 10, so it will say I need to wait exactly 1 hour before I send the message, and it will convert the hour to simple seconds so that it could print to us exactly how many seconds we have to wait for the message to be sent. So let's run our code.
Welcome back, Mac. The current time is 1 hour 39 minutes and 37 seconds. 1 hour 39 minutes and 42 seconds. The current date is 13/6/2021. Good night, sir. Jarvis at your service. Please tell me how can I help you?
Jarvis, send a WhatsApp message.
Whom do you want to contact?
So now it is asking from the respondent's name. So I will provide the contact number here. We'll say, okay. So for the message, let's say, hey, how are you doing today? So it is 1 a.m. right here. So I will say 1, and since it is 40 minutes and 40 and half minutes, so let's say 42. Oops, it is showing me some error. And I think the error is right here in these two variables. So let's change both of these to int integer values so that we can have the integer values as our stored values in these variables, and I will save this file and rerun the code.
Thirteen 6/2021. Good night, sir. Jarvis at your service. Please tell me how can I help you?
Jarvis, send a WhatsApp message.
Whom do you want to contact?
So for the respondent's name, I will say provide the number, hit enter. So let's go for the pay message. Now it is 142, so I will say 1 and 44. So it is working. So it seems like the problem was right here, as it was not storing the values as integers, because these two arguments take integer values. So the only thing that we did was add the int function right here so that we could get the input value from string to integer and then run this function. So in 53 seconds our web whatsapp.com will open, and after 20 seconds from that 53 seconds our message will be delivered. So it basically depends on the connection you are using, internet connection you are using. If your speed is very slow, then it might take more than 20 seconds. So sometimes your message might not be able to send. So let's wait for 20 seconds for now. See, message has been sent automatically. It wrote the message, and then exactly after 20 seconds our message has been sent. So now let's move on to our second approach. So I will minimize this window and I will close this terminal from right here. And the next thing I want to do is add the second approach which we talked earlier about. What if? I want to send it to the exact moment that I am using this function. Let's say now. So for this, I will go ahead and introduce a new variable so that I could switch between the later function and the now function, so that if I want to send the message right now, I will call the now statement, and if I want to send it later at some specific time, I will say to go for the that statement. So I will go here and create a new variable time, and I will here ask for input. Let's change it to something else like send time, and input would be like when to send. Okay, and so that if later is in send time in this variable, then I want both of these values to be followed, so that it asks for hour and minute that I want to send the message. But if if now is in the s time, so for that case I will say else if now in s time. Now in here I will call the same variable that we have discussed earlier, both of these hour double underscore and minute and double underscore, so that we could use the time library that we have discussed many times in our previous JARVIS videos, and I will use the time library, date and time library, to get our current date and time values. So I will say hour double underscore is equal to date time dot date time dot now, and we'll close this function, and then I will say hour. Now the next thing I want to do is I will say minute double underscore and equal to same line that we were written in the hour, but this time with minute. So I will say daytime dot now, and then dot minute. Now our else if statement has been set, and if I run this code, you will notice that it is not working properly. We will get to it in just a moment.
1 hour 49 minutes and 14 seconds. The current date is 13/6/2021. Good night, sir. Jarvis at your service. Please tell me how can I help you?
Jarvis, send a WhatsApp message.
Whom do you want to contact?
In here I will provide the number as I did before. I will say hit enter. Let's go for hi there. Now we have discussed the later function already, so this time I will say now. So what's happened here? It is saying that in 86,373 seconds, which is approximately equal to 24 hours, our web WhatsApp will open, and then after 20 seconds of that, our message will be delivered. This is exactly opposite to what we intended. We wanted to send our message right now. So what happened here? The thing that happened here is that the time that got stored right here was our current hour, which was 1. But the minute value that was stored in this variable right here was the exact minute that at which this line of our code run. Let's say I run this code at exactly 53 minutes. But what if during the process of its running, before running this function, our minute was changed to 54? It increased by 1. What happens? This variable contains a value of 53, but our current time is now 54. So it will not just send the message, it will assume that we want it to send the message at the next day at exactly the same time, which is 53 minutes. So to overcome this issue, we are going to use a new else statement right here, and we will say if daytime, we will be using our seconds value from the datetime library to overcome this issue. So I will say if datetime dot now dot seconds, so dot seconds, second is less than 30. So what this line means is that if our current time is 53 minutes and 26 seconds, not 30 nor greater than 30, but less than 30, then that means that our this if statement will run. So I will go in here and I will say if this is the case, then I want to increase the minute value. So I will say if datetime dot now function dot minute, and I want it to increase by 1 so that our minute double underscore value is automatically increased to 54. So I hope it works. And the next thing I want to do is check for the statement if the second is greater than 30. So for this I will go here and call the else statement, and let's go for else as we have only one other case. So I will go here and this time I will increment the value by 2 so that our value does not fall short in any circumstances. Now, how did I know that I want to compare the value, both of these values, with 30 seconds? Now, when we previously ran our code, you might have noticed that the wait time between opening the web.whatsapp window and sending the message is 20 seconds. So to overcome that wait time, we have compared both of these second values to 30 seconds, which is like a midpoint. So I will save this file and rerun our code.
Welcome back, Mac. The current time is 1 hour 57 minutes and 18 seconds. 1 hour 57 minutes and 23 seconds. The current date is 13/6/2021. Good night, sir. Jarvis at your service. Please tell me how can I help you?
Jarvis, send a WhatsApp message.
Whom do you want to contact?
So I will provide the number. Let's go for hey there and add an exclamation mark here. Now See, this time it is saying that in exactly 30 seconds a web cloud WhatsApp is open, and after 20 seconds message will be delivered. So what this line basically means that our current seconds at the time of running this line was at 10 seconds. So it was 58 minutes and 10 seconds, and at 59 minutes it will send the message. So let's wait for it to send the message. So make sure that you look at the send time for this message when this message is delivered. This message is sent at exactly 59 minutes. So our code is working fine till now. So now let's modify our function a little bit so that instead of typing our responses, we could just simply speak the responses. So for this, I will go to my input lines like here, and here I will say take command. I will call the take command function, which we have already created in our previous videos, and then I will call the lower function with it. So I will copy the same line, and then I will place it here. So I will replace it with all of the input lines or all of the input functions that we have already created. Now here, as I want the output value to be an int, so for that I will keep the int function, but I will replace the input function inside of that int function. So I will replace all of these text with the take command function, and same goes here. And the next thing I want to do is simply add a speak function here, and I will pass the argument as something like tell me about the hour, and then the next thing will be tell me about the minute. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is add a simple line here that says we call the speak function, and then say sending message. Now just looking at this code of WhatsApp function, we can clearly see a flaw that will definitely occur when we will try to run our code, which is every time we want to contact a person, we have to provide their complete phone number, including the symbols, if there is any. It will be quite difficult to speak complete phone numbers here. So to overcome this issue, we could use another Python concept called dictionary. Dictionary can be set as a modified version of an array, as it stores multiple values for the same variable, the same key. So there are different ways of defining a dictionary inside of a Python file, but the way I am using is importing the dictionary from an external file to our JARVIS file. So how to create a dictionary? Let's discuss this first. So I will create a new file, Python file here, and I will name it something like example.py. So let's say example.py file has a dictionary called contacts. Contacts. And Here I will open the curly brackets, and in here the first thing I will do is define a key or a name. So since this is a contact based dictionary, so the first thing I will do that will be a key identifier is the name of the contact. So I will say let's the name will be friend, and the next thing I want to do is call the semicolon here, and then call the curly braces again, and the next thing is defining a different values of this key. So the since we only want our phone number of this person, so let's define a new key here that would be like phone, and then next to it I will add the phone number of the dead person whatever it is, and then I will save this file. So we are done with our contact flag dictionary. Now how to import this dictionary from right here to our jarvis.py file. So for this I will go to my top of the code where I imported different libraries, and here I will say from example import contacts. Contacts. Okay, now to check if this file has been imported and the dictionary from it has also been imported, we will go to our main function, and then before fish function, just for the testing purposes, I will say print, and then I will call the dictionary which was contact. Inside the square brackets I will pass on the key which will be the name of the person that I want to contact. So it will be like friend, and then the information that I want to get from this person's data. So I will say I want his phone number. So now I will save this file and then rerun this file. Now you can see here that it has
Current time
printed
is
out the contact
2 hours
number
12
that
minutes and
we
54 seconds.
saved earlier
2 hours
in
12
our
minutes and 59
dictionary
seconds.
right here
The current date
for
is
the key
13
friend.
6 2021. Good night, sir. JARVIS AI Source.
So now
Just tell me how can
using
I help you?
similar approach we can to save our different contacts in this dictionary, and then call the name of that contact in our WhatsApp function so that we can contact them easily. Now if I want to add a different value right here, for this I will go to my, so for the, I will close the terminal from here, and then so I will go here, and after the curly braces end I will add the comma, and then I will add to my second friend which is friend 2, and then inverted commas, and this time phone number will be like phone, and then I will take it equal to 456, and I will save this file. So in this way we can define our contacts over and over again, as many contacts we want, and then later use the same concept that we use right here to call them in our send function. So I will go to the bottom of my code, and I will close this example.py file here. I have already created my contacts dictionary. Inside of that contacts.py file right here, I have already created this file, and to use this file I will go here, and in here Instead of from example, I will say from contacts, import contact. Now I will save this file and then return to my code at the end. And now what I will do is I will make some more changes to my code. For example, I will go here and change this variable to user. The next thing I will do is go to my send what message function, and in here with contact, since this is the name of our dictionary which is stored in our contacts.py file, I will call the square braces with it, and in square braces I will pass on the user variable in which the name of the user is stored. So I will go here and call the user variable, and then I will say call the phone key of this user variable, of this user key. So I will say phone, and I will save this file. So now our WhatsApp function is completely ready. So let's give it our final try.
Welcome back, Mac. The current time is 2 hours 21 minutes and 48 seconds. 2 hours 21 minutes and 53 seconds. The current date is 13/6/2021. Good night, sir. Jarvis at your service. Please tell me, how can I help you?
Send a WhatsApp message.
Whom do you want to contact?
Friend,
What do you want to say?
hello there. Hope you are doing well.
When to send?
Now,
Sending message.
now we can see here that it works perfect. It is saying that in 66 seconds, web.whatsapp.com will open, and after 20 seconds, message will be delivered. So that's exactly how we wanted it to work. So let's just wait for the seconds to finish and for the web WhatsApp to open. So our message has been written, and we now just wait for it to spend the 20 seconds which have already passed, and our message is sent now at 2:24. So that's it from this video, and I hope you learned something valuable. And if you enjoyed it or learned something valuable or just want to appreciate the work, give this video a big thumbs up and share it with your friends, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss any future updates of such cool and amazing projects. So till next time, happy learning.